Hello traders, what's happening? This is Hashim. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Well, the most awaited IPO of 2021 is here, the Indian Railway Finance Corporation. We will talk about this in detail. Should we subscribe in this IPO? If we must, then should it be for a long-term perspective or only for the purpose of listing gains? Well, before that, we will know about this in detail. But before that, I would like you to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that we work even harder enough to get more and more videos and content like this. And do let us know in the comment section below on what topic you would like to have a video to be created on. So, well, back to IRFC's IPO thing. Let us review the company. Friends, the issue is of rupees 178 crores, 20 lakh 20 lakhs 69,000 equity shares, of which 118 crores 80 lakhs 46,000 equity shares are on fresh issue for us, and whereas 59 crores 40 lakhs 23,000 equity shares are on offer for sale. Now, what does this mean? Fresh issue and offer issue. It is nothing but now what this means is that the money that the company raises from offer for sale is that is OFS directly goes to the promoters. In case of the IRFC, the promoter of the company is none other than our government of India. Uh, the company directly goes to government of India. And talking about the fresh issue, that the company raises money from the general public will directly go to the IRFC, and the same will be utilized for companies growth and expansion projects. Now let us talk about the company's basic information of IPO details. As we all know that the IPO opens on the January 18th 2021, and the closing date is on January 20th 2021. The face value of each share is rupees 10. The IPO, the price band is around 25 to 26 rupees per equity share that has been fixed by the company. Talking about the minimum and maximum lot size of the company, the minimum lot size that the company has decided is one, comprising of 575 shares, that is amounting to rupees 14,950, around 15,000 rupees, and the maximum lots that an investor can bid is around 13 lots. That is, one can invest around 19 lakh. 43,000 19 lakh 43 4,350 rupees. Sorry for the number mistakes here. uh, in 13 lots the investor gets around 7,475 equity shares. Now let me throw some light on the important dates of this IPO. As we know, the IPO opens and closes on January 18th and 20th. uh, the basis of allotment is on 25th of January 2021. If you aren't allotted the shares, you will get your refund on 27th of January. And in case if you are allotted the shares in this IPO, the subscribed lots will get credited to your demat account on 28th of January. And this IPO will debut on the exchange on 29th of January. After the good listing of IRCTC last year, the returns that the investors got were outstanding and outperformed the pandemic market. Let me tell you here, most of the investors are expecting the same thing in IRFC as well. Now we'll get to know about the IRFC, that is Indian Railway Finance Corporation. It is nothing but the government subsidy, government enterprise. It is basically an NBFC. NBFC here means non-banking financial company, which is categorized as infrastructure finance company. According to the company's website and under the RBI's Reserve Bank of India Act, the company is categorized under infrastructure finance company. Now let us look at their business module. So now, the business IRFC raises funds from the lenders or bond subscribers. After raising funds through bond subscription, they lend their assets on lease agreement to the Indian Railways, that is Ministry of Railways. Now this is where Ministry of Railways come into picture by creating a standard lease agreement between IRFC and Indian Railways. Once the agreement is made between Indian Railways and the IRFC, Indian Railways starts paying back the lease rentals to the company, that is IRFC, along with certain percent of interest. Now what IRFC will do is IRFC will repay the bond subscribers, uh, or, or the lenders their principal subscription amount along with interest as their return on investments. So this is the basic business module of IRFC. Now uh, one more important thing that we should know about IRFC raising funds from the lenders, uh, maybe or may not be taxable bonds. The other way of raising money is from LIC. And the period of leasing, as I said, the company will lease its assets to Indian Railways. The period of leasing is for around 15 years. The payback period is around 15 years, as a reason which, unlike other NBFCs, IRFC, Com- Indian Railway Finance Corporation, have zero NPAs, and their business model is very interesting. It is completely risk free credit model. This is the greatest thing to the investor and the management, that the company is having zero NPAs till date, mark my words. And the risk factor here is completely nil. So now, talking about the assets, what the company deals on that, as I said, leasing of the assets, IRFC gives on lease to Indian Railways or the Ministry of Railways are something like cranes, locomotives, trolleys, passenger coaches, etc. Talking about their numbers, I have the data for March 2019, 18, and 17. Let us see here the freightage wagons. The number of units is gradually increasing. Let me take you to the percentage section. It is around 77.14% in 2017, which is increased to 79.3% and 79.47% in 2019. Not only freighted wagons, but also the locomotive. See here, it is 78%, 82%, 85% in 2019. The passenger coaches, see, the number of units have also been increased year on year basis, from 64 255 to 65 305 to 67 573. uh, the passenger coaches or freightage wagons, whatever it is, every year these number of units are being increased. And the amount that IRFC raises from bond subscribers, the amount that which it raises from bond subscribers, will automatically raise their margins, and risk free credit module is one of their successful one. In case, just in case, say for example, Indian Railways wants to raise loans for its new projects. What Ministry of Railways or Indian Railways does is, they take loan from Indian Railway Finance Corporation. This is the lending body, right? They take loan uh, from IRFC only. One more thing here is that IRFC provides loan only to Indian Railways. There are completely no chances of getting default at all, unless the government become defaulter, because the government is taking loan, right? Why will the government become the defaulter here? Which is highly impossible, right? This is the main reason for their credit free risk module. I would like to add up here, in case that the government considers to privatize Indian Railways, which is currently under its way, um, that will bring in around 150 trains for private players to operate. In case these private players start taking loan from IRFC, then the chances of defaulters may increase. and NPAs will also gradually increase, which may spoil their risk-free credit module business, risk-free credit module of their business. Not only this, but if the private players take up loans from outsiders, then the monopoly of IRFC will automatically be ruined, right? This is the only drawback or risk factor in this IPO. Other than this, there is nothing to worry about. Now let us talk about the company's financial statements. Looking at their financial statement, the major income that the company earns is through leasing their assets. The lease income which the company is earn, I have the data for 3 years. See, in March 2017, the company has lease income of 7,498 crores, which is increased to 8,278 crores in March 2018, and in March 2019 the lease income is around 9,410 crores. The interest income is also good of the company. See, in March 17 it is 514, 988 in March 2018, and 1,721 in March 2019. See, it has actually doubled from March 2017. The dividend income is zero point 0.4 crores, zero point 0.4 crores again in March 18, but and zero point 0.5 crores in March 2019. The income from finance cost is around 5,873 in March 17, which is increased to 6,637 crores in March 2018, and in March 2019 it is actually increased, right? 8,183 crores. Talking about the company's net profit, see, the company earns a net profit of around 944 crores in March 2017. That has increased, that is actually doubled in March 2018. And in March 2019, the company's performance is also outstanding. The EPS that the company is offering is around 1.45% in March 2017. That has been increased to 3.19% in 2018, and 2.45% in March 2019. The book value of the share price is also good. See, in March 2017 it is 18 rupees per share, 21 rupees, and 20 rupees in March 2020. So viewers or investors, traders who are watching this video, here I would like to say that you may subscribe to this IPO for a long-term perspective. Let me be clear here, for long-term perspective. But if you are planning only for listing gains, comparing to IRCT's outstanding listing gains that it gave to the subscribers, now let look at the gray market price of IRFC, the gray market trend. Let me show you from 29th of January, the price was around 1.5. On 3rd January, it is around 1 rupee. On 4th January, it is 3 rupees. On 6th January, it is again 3 rupees. The subscription rate, see again here, on 7th of January, it is reduced actually 2.70. On 8th, it is 1.75. On 13th of January, it is 1.10. So looking at these gray market price, which is not at all attractive, uh, I recommend or this channel recommends you for long term position in this company, Indian Railway Finance Corporation. Do let us know in the comment section below what things we have left out, or on what things we can make come up with the new videos on. So till then, happy trading, happy investing actually. Thank you.